a coronavirus related stock. The reason why we bought it was because of the coronavirus news that it had. The reason why we made so much money though was because of the spot we had. Either way, we were going to make money on this, but the spot we had made us capitalize the most money off of it. So let's dive in and let's see exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go into VRUS. I liked it a lot because it reminded us of a stock we just made one of our biggest wins off of last month, PCTL, which it was a penny stock. I think we bought it when it was breaking 4 at the end of the day, and it was breaking a certain spot that we liked. This is different kind of day, but it is a second green day. So similar at the same time. They move similar. So I like I would compare it to that. I like to compare things to different stocks, but at the same time, completely different stock. So here we go. VRUS, let's dive in. This is the day that we were interested in it, on this big green day. As you can see in the past, what all snipers should be doing, zoom out to the 1 year chart every time you open up a stock. 1 year, 3 year, go as far as you want, but 1 year is good enough for us. And make sure that there's ramp ups into this stock. These are big ramp ups. These aren't just fucking normal like days. These days are 4 days from 2 cents all the way to 3.5. You know, that's about 75% you're making. This run is from 1.5 cent all the way to 3.5 cents. So that's more than 100%. You know, these are big runs. You got to know that this stock can run. And we know that. We see it in the past. So we're interested. That's our first flag of being interested. Next flag is, what is it? How high is it on the day? Why are we looking at it today? Like, how did it gain our interest? It gained our interest because I'm going to dive into the news right here and show you that when you pop in the live news, sorry about that. Armando Latina's got me a little hype. So when you pop in the news, you type the live news, you're going to see that this stock hasn't had news. Well, it did have the second. So this first green day, it had news, but not news at all about coronavirus. So this is a stock we've made money off of before in the past. Totally forgot what they did until I just opened up. And I actually like this stock a lot because I'm a huge sports fan. So hoorah, VRUS. They're only into sports back in the day. Now all of a sudden they're getting to the corona because that's what happens. That's what these penny stocks do. They look what's hot and they jump in it. If you guys look at all the news before this, it's about MLB. I think they had an NFL news. They had news with maybe the NBA. I don't know. But they always have news with sports teams, random things going on, home goods, random shit. But out of nowhere, on the 3rd, on this big green day, it has this news it comes out with. And the news came out with, notice the timing, at 1:14. So this is the middle of the day. And that's when the volume starts to come in. So now I'm going to dive into this day and show you what happened at 1:14. And we're not telling you because it's very hard to just buy the news and go right off that. Yeah, Corona news is hot and it's the hot sector right now, but you can't just be buying Corona news left and right. You got to have a thesis and a reason, a place to base it, a real cut and reward spot, a risk and reward spot to all stocks. So don't just be buying any Corona news. But this Corona news, what happened is, look, it has a random, I don't even know, but that was that green day you saw first. And then this is the day we're interested because surprise, surprise, at 1:14 exactly, it gets that pop. And it gets a very nice pop from 1 cent, 1/3 of a cent, all the way up into 1/8. That's a huge pop. That's about 30%. Could be more if I do my math right. I'm not the best with that. But there we go. Huge pop. Everything that goes up has to come down. Honestly, reminds me of the play we're in right now, ABMC and fucking the other one.
I was gonna say KB. I
meant the other one. Yeah, that's what I meant.
It really does remind me of
ALPP.
KBLB.
ABMC had a lot more volume going on. This does look like ABMC because it was a little lighter. The volume did come in, but look at it. I mean, it gets that midday spike and then it has to dip somewhere and it has to hold. And that's where we're going to try to find a spot to buy into. So let me get into the minutes because this is 5 minutes, so it's hard to kind of see where we're buying and what's going on. But I'm going to dive into the 1 minute chart, 1 minute candles, and show you what happened. So here's the shoot up midday when we're not interested, but we were alerted in the chat. This is one of our favorite stocks. It came out with, look at the news, N95 mask. We all know mask is the thing. You go outside today, You go to the supermarket, fucking half the world has a mask on. Unfortunately, that's a hot topic right now, and that's what VRUS is going to come out with. They're going to try to make masks. The masks are in Philippines. When the fuck they're going to come out with these masks, and when we're going to see them ever, if we ever are going to see them, who knows?
Never.
It's Philippines. But we know that the stock is probably going to react off of it, and it already did. So now we're going to play the reaction. And the reaction is we got a support level because it dipped all the way down to 1.6. So that's nice. Now 169 is a 1 month high, which actually was another thing I like to note is multi-month breaks. If it's able to break multi-month spots, that usually makes it hot. 169 was this multi-month break. So as long as it was going to hold that spot or 1.6 area, we like that. That was very nice for the stock. So it comes all the way up here. Now it dips. Good quote I read on Instagram, and Al's really good at buying these dips. But you got to buy into panic and sell into spikes. So it's buying into panic and selling into greed. It's a cool quote. But you really have a great risk reward. It helps you out so much more if you're doing that kind of stuff. And that's all we're doing here. A lot of people would be freaking out, and without these guys, without my team that I got, I would probably wouldn't be as good as this either. But we were able to secure a great spot here as it took the dip down to 1.6. We liked that it held 1.6 and it bounced. Now it dipped again, but we see that it's able to hold an area. So what we decided to do was put a limit in, and this is where being a sniper is key on a dip buy. Now you know 1.6 is that bottom spot, and you know 1.5 is a real cut. So you got to put yourself into thought. Yeah, buying a dip buy is very scary, and yeah, it's falling out. So you usually don't want to buy something that's falling out. But at the same time, you have to realize your risk reward. If you're buying at this bottom spot now and you're cutting at 1.6, that's barely losing anything. You're losing like 3%. But even if you let it fall out a little more and you cut at 1.5, you're losing only 10%. And that would mean it would have to fall all the way from 1.8 all the way down to 1.5, which would be a huge drop. So just be aware of what already happened. It already dropped from 1.8. So that's what you're going to have to be aware of with these dip buys, is where it's coming from. And that's what's going on here. We also know the time of day and how much time is left. This is power hour. So it has to decide if it wants to fall out of 16, it's going to do it now. And right here, it actually isn't at all. It's deciding that it's gonna get horny. Sorry for my language if the women are on here, but here we go right here. You can see we take that limit at this VWAP spot because we love that 1.615 risk, and we're not rushing it. We're not slapping the high 1.7. And even if you did, you could have made a lot of money here. But the way that we profited the most off of this was we set a limit at 1.65, and we said if we're going to get filled here, we're going to get filled here. We actually got half filled at first, and we didn't still smack it. We still patiently waited, and after about another minute, so it took about 2 minutes to fill, but it did take a little bit. We've kept the ask there. Kept your limit in. And remember, if you're under the PD2 rule, you don't want to be moving around your bid and ask because that'll count as day trades. If you're able to sell them in the same day, that's going to count as 2 day trades. So keep your plan. Our plan was to buy on a dip and to try to sell on a spike. And we held that 1.65. And after it bought half of us, it ended up buying the other half about 2 minutes later. Dipped slightly more after our buy. And we pretty much almost called the bottom. 1.6 was really the bottom. And look at this. In the last 7 minutes, it gets that spike back to that 1.75 area, which gives us a cent cushion, which, I mean, a tenth of a cent. With a tenth of a cent on a penny is nice. Gives you, I think, about 10% almost. Not a little, I mean, a little less than 10%, like 6%. But got a decent cushion here, and boom, sky's the limit. In these situations, same with this plays that we're in tomorrow or tonight, usually we're looking for gap ups, especially with news like that. You want to see something hot happen in the morning. OTCs aren't listed stocks. They don't travel overnight or in the morning. So what they're going to do is they're going to open at a new spot. And usually when there's a lot of buying pressure the day before with a lot of volume, 2 key things to notice. And then this one with news. So the third thing to notice, breaking multi-month high. So I've just noted 4 things is usually going to cause a gap up. And that's what we got here. We loved what we got. Instantly put a sell limit in. And for those that are asking, where do you put the sell limit in the morning? If it's up a lot, at this we had I think 1.9 in 2 because we were just happy with the win no matter what, and it took us at 2.1 instantly. We were able to bag that 650 just
Let's
like that,
go.
just like that, and there we go. So now we'll add 6 bills up into the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got a lot of this fake money, but we'll act like it's real.
So
We'll add 6
fire.
bills to the front of the table. And I think that's 650 in the bag. We were in it for I think 16 minutes probably total trading wise. But that's what we're looking for tomorrow as well. Boom.
Yeah, two notes I would say about that is, when we were buying into it, what really led us to buy in at that price was patience. It was coming into power hour, it was hanging pretty strong. It looked pretty good, but we weren't going to force it. So patience led us to get a really good risk reward entry. And then, man, we were blessed with a 20% gap right away at the opening. Like, it's 9:30 a.m.
Yeah, you gotta take that.
All you have to click is the sell button.
Yeah.
And you can make a week's worth of money.
Yeah, that was an amazing play. And you know what's even better is we played, like I was talking about, PCTL was not the same kind of stock, but why it was also similar was a Friday to Monday move. And those Friday to Monday moves are amazing.
Beautiful.
Literally start the week off plus very nicely. It sets you up very nicely for the rest of the week. And that's what happened in PCTL. That one gapped up even more. This one, we got the same situation. So let's keep them fucking things coming.